You know, if people want to be naive, that they don't see the kind of world we're living in. In this world, it's not enough to be moral. It's not enough to be just. It's not enough to be right. You know, one of the greatest writers of the 20th century, someone that I admire a lot, was the historian Will Durant. Now, he wrote many volumes. I read most of them. He also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation. So you have no choice. If you look at the world as it is today, you have to be blind not to see that the democracies led by the United States have to reassert their will to defend themselves and to oppose their enemies in time while there's still time, before the jarring gong of danger wakes them up and wakes them up too late. This is where we are now. The fact that people don't see that, the fact that a lot of the news media are harking on a lot of fake news, but also a lot of short-sightedness, and do not see the historic period and the historic struggle that we are engaged in now, doesn't obviate these truths. We have to be strong. We have to be armed. We have to be more powerful than the barbarians, or they will not be merely at the gate. They'll crash our gates and destroy our societies. That's what Israel is doing now with the United States. And I'm very proud of the fact that the Israeli people are standing strong, that the Israeli army is standing strong. We rose from October 7th. Our people, our soldiers rose like lions. But in protecting ourselves and in joining with our great American friends, we're also protecting the entire world.
So you heard it. Israel Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu said you don't have to be moral. You don't have to be just. He says that evil overcomes good. He said that when it comes to Jesus Christ, Genghis Khan has the upper hand. And these are the folks that all of you Christian brothers and sisters been donating your money to all these years. You've been fundraising for these folks all these years, and they just told you who they really are. What do the book of Revelations tell you? The book of Revelations tell you that I know thy works, and I know thy poverty, but thou art rich. And I also know those who call themselves Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. I just thought I would quote that scripture. And I want you to consider something here. Although we watch Bibi Netanyahu say what he just said, we can't even believe our own eyes these days. The AI is warping and distorting the perceptions of people. However, that video is real. At least that's the way they're promoting it. And what's being said is a lot of heat is coming back on Netanyahu for saying what he said. But nonetheless, y'all know we're going to kick this thing off and really chop it up, because there's a lot going on right now as we speak. And we got to get into it, y'all. You already know how we do. Y'all make sure y'all get the likes up on the way in. Let's talk about it.
To the working against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love for the They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repentant. They hate the fact that we truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks. With these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. Nubreed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Undoubtedly, the one you call Jesus Christ was a black man. He was melanated. He had hair like wool. He had a deep voice. He was dark skinned. He wasn't only just a black man. He was a dark skinned man. He wasn't brown. He wasn't light skinned. No, Christ was dark. We're talking about Wesley Snipes, dark. So let's make that clear. That's how he's described biblically. I don't know who this character is that they put up, but clearly the Most High God ain't happy with it. What my man Sizzler say? We serve no white God. I'm sorry, he's not white. Christians, I know that you have a hard time accepting this. You have a hard time understanding that Christ is the same image as your sons, as your uncles, as your father, as your grandfather, as the man that you dealt with. Yeah, he came in that same image. His lineage and bloodline is of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He comes through the lineage of David. He was a black man, all right? There's no doubt about it. In some extra biblical text, on record, on file, it even goes into race attributing to his crucifixion. because of the things he was bringing to the world. They even say his race contributed to his crucifixion. Now, let's make that clear. And if you have a problem with that, if you have an issue with that, so be it. But make this clear. Regardless of what your nationality is, your color, kindred, or creed, if you choose not to remember Christ as the scriptures have said, that's on you. You have to take that up with the Lord. But you see how the Lord is dealing with false idols.
Are you children of Israel? We are the biblical Israelites. Let's shine our light on this entire world and let them know that we're not standing for these 2/3 and their evil intentions for us. And we're not falling for the tricks and the charades. It's time that we rise up, honor the law, statutes, and commandments written of in that Bible, and stay on the right direction. Welcome back, everybody. Peace and blessings to the chat. Listen, y'all, it's something about that intro. Holy Spirit activated. Hallelujah. Man, it's good to see y'all. You know we're going to go in. I see y'all rolling in the chat pretty quick. I see NG in the building. Q Brown's in the house. Y'all make sure y'all get the likes up on this one. I see Tania in the house, Golden C, Speedy Rider, Sovereign Powers, Shawnee Wayne is in the building. It's good to have y'all. So Bibi Netanyahu says that, hey, evil, brute force, power, and strength shall win. This is what they're saying. This is what they're proclaiming. Now, that was utterly blasphemous. He compared Genghis Khan to Jesus Christ. He actually, quoted some author. Can't remember the name of the author right now, but he quoted some author. But he's supposed to be God, one of God's chosen people. Even though Bibi Netanyahu went to high school in America and he's an actor, but he's supposed to be one of God's chosen people. I thought that these were the chosen people, although the Bible says when there's a new heaven and a new earth, then his people shall have the Holy Land, and it will be no more war. It will be no more famine. It will be no more plagues. That's what the Bible say. But meanwhile, they're talking about evil winning. Listen, Psalms 37, something's wrong with my stream deck, y'all, so we won't get no sound effects. I don't know what's up with this thing. But we're going to go to Psalms 37:1. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass. Look, even when evil looks like it's winning, they're going to lose. And I don't care. You can apply that. You can apply that every day, all day. You can apply that to your lives right now, brothers and sisters. Even if it looks like evil is winning, the Bible makes it clear that they're going to get cut down, just like Genghis Khan got cut down. Evil will lose. Jeremiah 12:1. Even the prophets had to ask back in the day, why doeth the way of the wicked prosper? And what did the Most High tell them? Basically, the Most High let it be known that he's saving up their judgment. He's saving up their punishment. So it can be calamity coming their way. So, Bibi Netanyahu said a whole lot, and I'm going to play it back before we jump to the next source. In case y'all just joining, you got to hear what Bibi Netanyahu just said, because this is crazy that he jumped out the window and said this. So we're going to go there. We are going to go there. Because we got to unpack this real quick.
I don't want to be naive that they don't see the kind of world we're living in. In this world, it's not enough to be moral.
Wait, what? It ain't enough to be moral? It ain't enough to be moral. So last time I checked, God's people are supposed to be the light of the earth. That's what I thought. I thought God's people are supposed to be the light of the earth. But Bibi Netanyahu is on TV saying it's not good enough to be moral. Wow. Okay.
It's not enough to be just.
Not enough to be just. That's not enough. You got it. So basically, he's saying that you got to be evil. What's the opposite of just, ladies and gentlemen? The opposite of just is unjust. You know, I'm just going to break this down to the molecule. I'm going to condescend to the lowest level. The difference between just is being unjust. The difference between being moral is being immoral. Immoral. He said it ain't enough to be moral. He want to be, so he's saying, look, you got to be immoral and unjust. You got to be immoral and unjust. Let's continue.
It's not enough to be right.
Ain't enough to be right, so you got to be wrong. They got to do wrong. See, now the devil is showing his ugly horns right now. Now they're no longer hiding who they are. They're not hiding it anymore. Only those who got a seared conscience can't see who these people are. Let's go.
You know, one of the greatest writers of the 20th century, someone that I admire a lot, was the historian Will Durant. Now, he wrote many volumes. I read most of them.
Oh, you quoting Will Durant. You have this man quoting Will Durant, but he's not quoting the Bible. Meanwhile, we over here, we're going to quote the scriptures. These people over there quoting Will Durant. Let's go.
He also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are...
He just demeaned Jesus Christ. He says that Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. We're talking about the King of Kings we're talking about. And this is why Christ is coming back for bloodshed and vengeance. The Bible says that Christ is coming back like he's treading a wine press, and he will wear the blood on his garments, and he will wear the crown of every nation. This is why when Christ come back, he's going to slaughter everything. This right here. Because that's the only thing that the world leaders actually respect. They only respect power. They only respond to action. They only respond to bloodshed. But that's what Christ is coming back to do. See, the Jesus Christ they taught you in the Christian church is not the real Jesus Christ. Christ was a melanated man, austere in nature, and the Bible says he's coming back to bring a sword. And this is the reason why. Because of the blasphemy that goes on.
Strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough.
You hear that? He's trying to say that Genghis Khan is on a higher level than Christ because of his strength, power. Genghis Khan was a warlord, a warmonger who committed genocide. So this is what they're talking about. This is what they're thinking about doing right now with Iran, trying to find a way to commit genocide, but they ain't going to be able to do it. They're not going to be able to do that. Peep this.
Strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation.
Wait, evil will overcome good. He said evil will overcome good. And this is the blasphemy they putting out there. But what do the scriptures say? Psalms 73:3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Then the Bible tells us to envy not the wicked. Why? Because they're going to meet their maker. They're going to have their day. Matthew 24:24. For there shall arise false Christs, insomuch though that if it were possible, they would fool the very elect. See, a lot of people are fooled, man. A lot of people are fooled, believing that these people are God's people, bro. Sad, really. Let me see. Romans 1:25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Exactly. These people are liars.
So you have no choice. If you look at the world as it is today, you have to be blind not to see that the democracies led by the United States have to reassert their will to defend themselves and to oppose their enemies in time while there's still time, before the jarring gong of danger wakes them up and wakes them up too late. This is where we
Now he's trying to put a battery in America's back to go crash out, but it's too late for that. You know, we're going to look at some updates of what's going on with this war, and it ain't looking too good for America. It's also not looking too good for Israel either. And I'm talking about the land of Israel. Yep, Steve E says he's acknowledging his wicked daddies. I hope y'all pay attention. His fathers were shamans and tangerists, synagogue of Satan. I'm telling you. Right, and he is moving quite robotic. This may be some AI that they released, or, you know, we don't know. But we know that this was was released. This video is official. It's released. It's coming from that side, that camp. We don't know. Look, right now, we don't know what's real and fake. But the fact that they put this out here, far as we know, BB can be in a box somewhere. He can be in a box somewhere. We don't even know. Or he can be in hiding while his country gets obliterated. But we do know that they wanted this message. We know they wanted this message out there. We know they wanted this message out there.
wakes them up and wakes them up too late. This is where we are now. The fact that people don't see that, the fact that a lot of the news media are harking on a lot of fake news, but also a lot of short-sightedness, and do not see the historic period and the historic struggle that we are engaged in now, doesn't obviate these truths. We have to be strong. We have to be armed. We have to be more powerful than the barbarians, or they will not be merely at the gate. They'll crash our gates.
Now, who's the barbarians? They're trying to claim that Iranians are barbarians, but America's the one who bombed a school full of children and their teachers. So who's supposed to be the barbarians? You know, from the beginning of this, they claim to be the good guys. I'm not buying that.
And destroy our societies. That's what Israel is doing now with the United States. And I'm very proud of the fact that the Israeli people are standing strong, that the Israeli army is standing strong. We rose from October 7th our people, our soldiers rose like lions. But in protecting ourselves and in joining with our great American friends, we're also protecting the entire world.
They claim that they're protecting the entire world. Well, they're not even protecting the land of Israel right now, because Israel is getting eviscerated. Matter of fact, I want to show y'all something, and you know, we have to discuss this because prophecy is really coming true. And I want to go here because, you know, in case you don't know, Iran has just recently bombed a nuclear facility, or actually they hit very close to the nuclear facility, but they hit the city of Dimona, and about 50 or 60 people were terminated. And in case you don't know, a lot of our people, melanated people, went over there to Dimona, set up shop, set up camp over there. And, you know, I'm just hoping that those people are okay. These people came to mind when I seen this clip, so I wanted to share this. And also make it clear that prophetically, Israel, the land of Israel over there, it will be an ash heap when this is all done. All right. The land of Israel over there will not be standing. It will be completely purged, and it will be you won't be able to inhabit that land at all. So I just hope that our people get on up out of there. And hopefully nobody got hurt. But peep this. Wait, hold on.
Said the next place they're going to hit is Israel's nuclear power plant. You know who lives over there? In Dimona? Yeah. Our people live there. In Dimona, yeah. In Dimona. Yes, sir. If they hit that power plant, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Because they're only 8 miles from it. Right. It's going to go boom, bye-bye. Yes, and we got to pray for our people. We got to pray for our brothers and sisters that they come back into this fall, into this truth.
And yes, Dimona was hit. I fact-checked that. I fact-checked this. Dimona was hit. And they say that like 60 casualties came out of it. So, you know, hopefully none of our people got hurt out there, and that they can make their way out. Just make their way out. You know, that's just not the place to go. That's not the place to go. So, you know, I just thought I'd put that out there. You know, prayers up for the people over there. You know, and y'all got to understand, they were trying to hit the nuclear facility. So, you know, Iran, they're not backing up at all. They're not falling out the war. You know, don't let Trump make you believe that the war is losing steam, because it's actually gaining steam. Every day, this war escalates to another level. And, you know, we got to talk a little bit about that. And I want to share with you all something just so that I'm clear. Israel won't be standing. It won't.
A weapon. Because the Middle East will be gone. Israel will go first, without question. And they'll certainly take a shot at us before we get our act together and say we got to take them out.
Now, what did he say? He said Israel will be gone without question. Why did Trump say that? Listen.
A weapon. Because the Middle East will be gone. Israel will go first, without question. And
Israel will go first without question. Look, listen, let me tell y'all something. Trump just said the quiet part out loud. He just said the quiet part out loud. This is what Revelations tell us. Those who had taken that land that don't belong to them, that whole, listen, they're not going to make it. That whole land is going to be a hole in the ground, y'all. It's going to be a hole in the ground when this is done. I'm telling you right now. Trump said it out loud.
They'll certainly take a shot at us before we get our act together and say we got to take them out. weapon. Because the Middle East will be gone, Israel will go first, without question, and they'll certainly take a shot at us.
Yep, he said the quiet part out loud. Now, they got some stuff going on in Israel where they're trying to fake prophecy.
Breaking news, Israel has sacrificed the red heifer as they're now taking steps to bringing the new Jewish Messiah. The next step will be to rebuild the third temple. And if you're wondering, the last time the temple was built, Jesus Christ was born. Also, the last time a red heifer was sacrificed, 2,000 years ago, the days before Jesus Christ was born. If you're wondering where that temple is supposed to be built, it's supposed to be built in Jerusalem at the site of a mosque, the third most holiest site in all of Islam. So if the Israelis believe they're going to blow up this holy site of Islam, the Saudis and especially the Iranians are going to have something to say about this. The Israelis had a practice trial of burning the heifer last month, but on August 13th, they did this in secret, breeding the...
Now, see, you got to understand that they're trying to bring forth the false Messiah. Understand that they're trying to bring out what the Bible describes as the man of sin, or what we would call the Antichrist. Now, of course, in Paul's time, he said there will be many Antichrists. However, there will be another false Messiah figure that they will raise up that'll work certain miracles and have people believing that he is the Messiah. And that's what they're working on. They're working on trying to stage a Messiah figure because they need that. They need that to reel people back in, calm people down. And listen, a lot of the people who are lost, who bought into all of the lies that they told, those who are under the strong delusion, they're going to believe whoever they present. So they're doing all of these sacrifices and rituals that really, back in the day, the Levitical priesthood would have done. These people are on one trying to mock our culture. And really, they're just doing something just completely different. They're doing something completely different. This is why the Bible says, if somebody says, here's Christ or there's Christ, believe them not. You can't believe these folks.
Cow in the United States of America. The Israelis have set off an event that the last time it occurred, the Messiah, Jesus Christ, came down. The heifer sacrifice was done secretly underground to avoid public attention, but a secret whistleblower has sounded the alarm. Breaking news, Israel has sacrificed the red heifer.
Yeah, I want everybody to understand that this is deeper than politics. This stuff is deeper than politics. This is what we got to understand is we're really in a holy war right now. This is a holy war that's being fought. Although we may see it manifest in the physical and we see bombs and missiles being dropped, this really a holy war. It's a battle for information. It's a battle to curb perception and a battle to control prophecy. At least they believe they can control prophecy. But really, they just trying to swindle, jug, and finesse the people, man. Telling you right now. And now it's looking real bad for Israel and America. And America. And I don't know if y'all caught wind of this, but Robert Mueller just died. You had our president celebrating his death. In case y'all unaware of who Robert Mueller is, he used to be the head of the FBI. For whatever reason, he was well respected within government, but Trump made some type of post celebrating Robert Mueller's death. Real classless stuff. However, that's a little bit beside the point. Maybe we'll go into that. I just thought that was interesting. But right now, a lot of things are slowing down in America, man. Something's going on with the airlines right now, and we got to talk about that as well. But let's finish talking about Bibi Netanyahu.
Israel is yet again using the horrific double tap strike strategy in Iran and in Lebanon. The double tap is whenever Israel bombs a location to take out a target, waits 30 minutes for all the medics and the families and the police arrive, and then they bomb the same location again. This atrocious strategy was used on the attack on the elementary school in Manab, Iran. In this strike, the Americans struck first, putting the kids underneath the rubble, and then when the parents and the medics came, the Israelis struck it yet again. It also occurs in Lebanon, where brave paramedics such as this man come onto the scene after a bombing to help people and save lives, just for the Israelis to swing back around and bomb it again. The strategy is used to take out as many normal civilians as possible, mainly medics, paramedics, and police, in order to stop people from being saved. Also, it was used heavily in Gaza, where it took out many reporters, journalists, and yet again, thousands of paramedics. Israel is yet again...
Yep, they're using double tap strikes. I mean, look, he said, look, they don't need to be moral. They don't need to be just. You know, they need to be as corrupted and evil as possible to get the job done. You know, that's what BB said. So they already are doing that. They just trying to do as much evil as they can before they get judged. Isaiah 5:20 says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. Woe unto them. That means beware. Death is coming to these people. Judgment. This is what they do. They bomb and they bomb citizens. They're not really chipping away at any of Iran's military. They're not. They're getting people, reporters and merchants, and this is what's happening. This is what's happening right now. Second Timothy 3:13 says, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse. That's exactly what's happening. They're waxing worse and worse. There's no let up. There's no recourse.
Pay attention and listen, because airports throughout the United States are starting to collapse. Look.
The TSA line. The line where you get your ID and boarding pass checked is all the way up there. It comes around here, all the way around, all the way around, all the way around. It snakes through here. But then you have to take the escalator over there down to the baggage claim downstairs, and that's how you end up down here. Right now, according to that board, it says that the wait is 150 minutes. Not sure if that's accurate.
Pay attention and listen, because airports throughout the...
Man, there may be some mass exodus coming in America very soon. You know. It seems like the way things are looking, there's going to be some type of window of opportunity that's open to actually make certain moves, because it's not looking too good. And then you got Trump threatening to send ICE to all the airports. So they're trying to slow things down and make things difficult right now. And, you know, it's because we're in times of war. And Trump, he's doing the most to show this guy's ignorance here.
Let me say something real quick about a man most folks didn't cheer for, but every single one of us was impacted by. So Robert Mueller has passed away. Y'all remember Robert Mueller. Here's what I remember. He wasn't loud. He wasn't chasing attention. He wasn't trying to be the story. He was steady. Remember he stepped into leading the FBI just days before this country changed forever, around September 11th attacks? Mm-hmm. And while everybody else was trying to figure out what just happened to us, he got to work. Not for applause, not for headlines, just because it needed to be done. He served under presidents from both sides, remember? And somehow, in a world that at the time kept getting louder and louder, he chose discipline. He chose process. He chose facts. And listen, You don't have to agree with every decision he made. That's not what this is about. This is about a man who believed the rule of law actually mattered, who believed that truth mattered because truth matters, who believed that serving people meant something. And look, before all of that, he was a Marine, a man who put his life on the line for this country and then just kept showing up for it in different ways. We throw the word greatness around a lot these days, usually for the loudest voice in the room. But sometimes greatness looks like quiet integrity, like
Yeah, I know that Robert Mueller has something to do with the oversight in the arrest of Epstein, as well as 9/11 oversight. I don't know much about Robert Mueller, but I do know Trump said that he was glad that he was dead. He took to Truth Social, I think, or was it, he might have took the X. It was one of them. He took the X and Truth Social, I believe, and said Trump said that he was glad that Robert Mueller was dead, which was crazy. I mean, that's his exact words he used.
doing your job, like standing firm when it would be easier not to, like being steady. Robert Mueller mattered because he reminded us what service is supposed to look like. And whether you realize it or not, we have been living in a world.
Yep. Now they got that Cash Patel that just be looking coked out of his mind, looking like, they got his family at gunpoint somewhere. Cash Patel is a coward. It is what it is. Robert Mueller was trying to hold some type of integrity in place. They got that damn Cash Patel up in there looking like eyes always bugging out his head, like he just terrified all the time. Yeah, Trump is just absolutely unhinged, man. Uncouth is the word. Yeah, Robert Mueller was also trying to get those files open. That's right. But Trump has some extreme hatred towards him. Man died at 81. A lot of people died this week. Chuck Norris died. And Chuck Norris, well, he was like, what, 86? Yeah, Chuck Norris, man, he looked like he was in good health for his age too. But hey, man, comes to all us.
That he helped protect. And then this dude puts this is asinine. Not because I expect everybody to agree, but because basic decency shouldn't be that hard. We're talking about a man who served this country his entire life, a man who was quietly battling Parkinson's, a family that's grieving right now. And to his family, listen, you did not deserve this. And know that there are those of us who believe.
Man, Trump is, hey, look, Trump, there's a reason why he said he ain't making it to heaven. He posted, Robert Mueller just died. Good. I'm glad he's dead. He can no longer hurt innocent people. President Donald Trump. Dude is sick. Dude is sick. But he don't have that type of energy. He didn't have that type of energy for Epstein. Trump got that type of energy for Robert Mueller, but he didn't have that type of energy for Epstein.
Even this great experiment, who are honoring him and you right now. And I'm sorry that somehow respect still felt optional to some people. Listen, this didn't deserve to be shared, but I did because one of my nieces or nephews, if they spoke about someone like that, we'd have a conversation immediately, because even children know that's not how you show up in this world. We can disagree. We can debate. We can see things completely differently, but we do not lose our humanity in the process, because at the end of the day, how we treat people, especially in moments like.
Well, this shows how Trump feels about the veterans, man. He can care less about the veterans who fought for this country. Trump is a billionaire, a $1 billion baby that's been rich his whole life. He don't relate to the soldiers that fought. Yeah. No, man. Trump had bone spurs. He wouldn't go fight. He wouldn't go fight in the military. Remember, he had bone spurs. He don't care about them soldiers. But anyway, rest in peace to Chuck Norris, though, and Robert Mueller. But Chuck Norris, man, That dude had a black belt. He knew how to do jujitsu, taekwondo, everything. Chuck Norris wasn't no joke. Everybody grew up watching Texas Walker, Texas Ranger. That was the jump back in the day. But anyway, let's go.
Like this says a whole lot more about us than it ever will about them. Come on, damn blood pressure, sky ass high on a Saturday. This motherfucker.
I'm telling you, man, that's dirty work right there. Yo, how many of y'all have seen well, we gonna go there. We're gonna go there. Y'all remember the Epstein clone? We gotta talk about that Epstein clone too here in a moment, momentarily. What do he call himself? Pete? Pete from what part of Florida he's in? Pete. Y'all, we got to talk about that because that's a clone. Come to find out, he was partying with Epstein. Old Pete, but we're gonna talk about that.
We have some news right now. Starting on Monday, ICE agents will be deployed at airports across the United States of America, according to a new announcement from Donald Trump, the president. Donald Trump attacked the Democrats for, in what he says, have hurting so many people with their vicious and uncaring ways. Then goes on to say at the end, I look forward to moving ICE in on Monday, have already told them to get ready, no more waiting, no more games. ICE will now be patrolling airports, providing, quote, proper security at airports. Now,
this seems like the Patriot Act all over again. It's like they're trying to really discourage people from making moves.
this will only likely exacerbate a problem that has been growing for several weeks now, ever since the government shutdown began. TSA agents have walked off the job. Wait times at TSA are exceptionally long, and instead of trying to find a deal in Washington, Trump thinks that putting ICE agents in lieu of TSA agents is going to actually help air travel. So be aware, spread the word, and as always, follow along to stay up to date on all the news you need to know about.
Palm Beach Pete. Right. Palm Beach Pete. We got to talk about Palm Beach Pete. Look, y'all know that some of y'all know I did a video speaking in regards to the look-alike. We're gonna put that in quotations because here's my theory on this. I believe Palm Beach Pete is a clone. I know. Some of y'all probably like, Bree, you be jumping way out the window sometimes. Hear me out. We got some videos of Palm Beach Pete talking about he used to party with Epstein. And I'm seeing some documents going around of a Pete being mentioned in the files. I don't know who this Pete is, but something is up with this guy. And he's been going viral, going on all kind of podcasts. It's some weird stuff going on. Yep, Akuma says they coming for freedom of speech too. Absolutely, that too. Trump is trying to go after any platform, news broadcaster, correspondent who speak against the war, pretty much, or people who are not speaking in a flattering manner when it comes to the war. You know, that is really happening. That is really happening. But I don't know if y'all seen this, but first of all, let me build my claim why I believe, not only do I believe Jeffrey Epstein has a clone, but I do believe Jeffrey Epstein is alive. I do not think he's dead. I just don't. Inside the Nation is in the building. Salute my brother. Yep, there is a lot of clones out here. It really is.
Pay attention and listen, because former intelligence officer Joe Kent reveals the truth about Jeffrey Epstein. Look.
I'm sure you probably have been reading the news. You were inside the administration also at this time. You did have a very high-level security clearance. Do you think that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset? Yeah, I do. That's my opinion. The NCTC, we never touched any of the Epstein stuff that was all under DOJ lock and key, so I don't really have any insider knowledge beyond what I've read personally, the same stuff you've read on the internet. But yeah, to some degree. Now, was he, a freebooter, a privateer who occasionally would do contract work with different intelligence agencies? That's just my opinion. That's kind of the realm that he was in. But there's obviously something much darker there. There's something else that speaks to just the power dynamics in our world. I think that's in those files, and I think we should continue to question everything about those files, and we should demand that our government actually gives us transparency.
Pay attention and listen, because
you got to look at it. There was footage missing. The guards fell asleep. They were unable to do the proper searches. And it's been confirmed, according to a former FBI employee, that, hey, they put a body double out there when they carried him out. Let's hear that one more time, the beginning of it.
Former intelligence officer Joe Kent reveals the truth about Jeffrey Epstein. Look.
I'm sure you probably have been reading the news. You were inside the administration also at this time. You did have a very high-level security clearance. Do you think that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset? Yeah, I do. That's my opinion. The NCTC, we never touched any of the Epstein stuff. That was all under DOJ lock and key, so I don't really have any insider knowledge beyond.
And there's other news that came out that they didn't actually bring Epstein's body out, that they used somebody else because there was so much publicity surrounding it. See, that leaves, when there's little gray areas like that, that leaves room for them to fake somebody's death, y'all. All they do is lie. All these people do is lie. Telling you right now. Now, we got to talk about this Pete character, man. One moment. Let me grab that. I don't want to get hit with no copyright. I don't know. Let me see.
To a couple of parties and Epstein was there.
And look on the emails from Eva Dublin to Pete. I've been thinking a lot about you. How are you holding up? Any chance that you are in Palm Beach this week seeing patients? Have one of my closest friends that I think would be such a great candidate for the ego skew method. He heard about you and loved to have an appointment. He lives part-time in Palm Beach. Look, I'm just saying. Pete said that he partied with Epstein. He said he showed up to a few parties where Epstein was at. Why? Because the man's a clone, bro. Now, we can't act like that they wasn't speaking freely about clones. Like Epstein didn't talk to Trump about his clone. That guy's funny, just like your clone. Let's not act like clones are not normal at this point. I'm just saying. They really are playing in our face. It would make sense that he partied with Epstein because it's Epstein clone. You think Epstein don't know his own clone? Yeah, I'm telling y'all, man. We're not reaching here. We're not reaching. We're just not. We're just not supposed to see all of this. We're not supposed to be this sharp.
This guy is dead, and he was a really bad person. I'm just a better-looking version than Jeffrey. I'm Palm Beach Pete.
He said he's a better-looking version of Jeffrey. A version? A version. Why would he call himself a version of Jeffrey Epstein? Because he's a damn clone, y'all. Y'all got to understand, the clones, they have minor differences. But damn it, that's Epstein's clone. I guarantee that's the same DNA, the same genetic code. It's the same. He said, I'm just a better version. Man, let's hear that again for the time.
This guy is dead, and he was a really bad person. I'm just a better-looking version than Jeffrey. I'm Palm Beach Pete. I'm a regular guy. I'm retired. I lived in the city for a long time. I'm not going to change this, and I can hold my head high. I didn't do anything. I went to a couple of parties, and Epstein was there.
Wait, what? You went to a couple parties, and Epstein was there? He went to a couple parties and Epstein was there. Nah, man. What's the chances? Now imagine somebody walk up in the party and look exactly like you. They look exactly like you. That's not going to be like a person you don't talk to. Somebody walk into the party and it's your doppelganger and y'all don't have a conversation at all. Come on now. The clone is not, listen, the clone is not finna, he's not finna confuse us, man. They knew each other, bro.
Party, and he was kind of creepy, just sitting on a couch, staying.
Did he say a pizza party? Wait, hold on.
This guy is dead, and he was a really bad person. I'm just a better looking version than Jeffrey. I'm Palm Beach Pete. I'm a regular guy. I'm retired. I lived in the city for a long time. I'm not going to change this, and I can hold my head high. I didn't do anything. I went to a couple of parties, and Epstein was there at a party, and he was kind of creepy, just sitting on a couch, staying to himself. And he wasn't the magnitude that he is or was. He wasn't a big deal. He was mysterious. People didn't know how he made his money and where he, what his story was. But I never really encountered him and had a conversation with him. I just saw him at a party. This guy is dead.
Yeah, that don't make no damn sense. Y'all didn't have a conversation. I'm not buying that. I ain't buying that at all.
The FBI has confirmed that they used a fake body when they pulled Jeffrey from the jail cell to the hospital. The jail guards at the prison used a fake body to dupe reporters after his death because of the massive media presence. They had a plan with the FBI to mislead the journalists outside the jail, and they arranged guards, boxes, and sheets to resemble a human body and loaded a decoy into a white van. This white van then took off, and the reporters followed it to the hospital.
Y'all hear that?
Meanwhile, Jeffrey...
They confirmed that Epstein never left out of that jail in no body bag.
Whose corpse was placed in a separate black vehicle that left unnoticed and left privately, and no one knows where it went. Also, there was a handwritten note in the cell after he's lost his life, but it was too difficult to read and it was just thrown away. The guards missed checks at 3 and 5 a.m. and the cameras went out. But now about the cameras, we see that the FBI reports that a flash of orange goes up to the L tier stairs where he was staying. A former NYPD says based on the limited video, it's more likely it was a person in the orange uniform and not bed sheets. Also confirming that the camera feed was edited numerous times with a video missing and the time code was changed at midnight. The FBI has confirmed that they used a...
Man, I'm going to tell y'all right now. Let me see. Somebody says you have to find an AI video of Epstein. Mark posted it. You have to send that to my inbox on Instagram. Nubreed 404 is the Instagram. And if you brothers and sisters don't follow me on IG, make sure you follow me there. And, and I'm going to say this. We see all that's going on in the world. And I want to be clear. There is a lot of people really adjusting to what's going on. And I hope that we are going to be doing the same. Okay, I think you sent it. All right. Well, and I want to show y'all something, but let me just chime in on this real quick. Epstein is not dead. And they've been lying to us about everything. They immortalized Epstein. They made him like an Elvis Presley type of figure. They look at him as a god. They venerate Jeffrey Epstein. Don't get it twisted. All of those statues that y'all see popping up in DC, all up and down Pennsylvania Avenue with Trump and Epstein in these big 30-foot gold statues, you think in somewhere like DC that has the highest police presence, you think they're going to allow somebody to put statues up like that? I'm from Washington, D.C. I could tell you this right now. That ain't happening. That ain't happening. They immortalize Epstein. They look at Epstein like a god. Why? Because they was able to go to that island and carry out any of their sick, demented fantasies. They loved Epstein. This whole war is being fought to protect the Epstein class. This whole war that's happening right now is because Iran was burning a Baal statue with Epstein's face and Trump's face on it. I'm telling you, we're fighting a holy war. They protecting Epstein. They had to remove him. They only killed off his character to immortalize him. Straight up. That's how wicked these people are. Now, once you look at it from that perspective, once you look at it from that angle, you see that the whole system need to be flushed. Once you see it from that perspective, all of it need to be flushed. Now you can't cherry pick anymore. The whole government as we know it is satanic. I'm telling you.
A fake body when they pulled Jeffrey from the jail cell to the hospital. The jail guards at the prison used a fake body to dupe reporters after his death because of the massive media presence. They had a plan with the FBI to mislead the journalists outside the jail, and they arranged guards, boxes, and sheets to resemble a human body and loaded a decoy into a white van. This white van then took off and the reporters followed it to the hospital. Meanwhile, Jeffrey, whose corpse was placed in a separate black vehicle that left unnoticed and left privately, and no one knows where it went. Also, there was a handwritten note in the cell after he's lost his life, but it was too difficult to read and it was just thrown away. The guards missed checks at 3 and 5.
And look, let's be clear that Palm Beach Pete could be Epstein, because they did studies on Epstein's T levels, his testosterone levels, and they were like extremely low. So that voice that you hear coming out, that could be Epstein's real voice. It could have been him after a couple of years. He was using certain testosterone boosters. Epstein was, the real Epstein was. But if you hear Palm Beach voices real light, if you see Palm Beach Pete on any of these podcasts, he got real thin legs and he crosses them like a woman. He sits there like a woman and stuff. Like, that could be Epstein for real. That really could be him. I'm telling you. Yeah, somebody says too scripted. Yeah, I mean, it really is. Hold up.
5 a.m. and the cameras went out. But now about the cameras, we see that the FBI reports that a flash of Oren goes up to the L-tier stairs where he was staying. A former NYPD says based on the limited video, it's more likely it was a person in the orange uniform and not bed sheets. Also confirming that the camera feed was edited numerous times with a video missing and the time code was changed at midnight. The FBI has confirmed that they used a fake body when they...
Yeah, the same age, same everything. Somebody said they should have checked his adrenochrome levels, right? I'm just saying. Let me see. Esther Wiley says, don't go for it, Breed. Now don't go for what? I don't believe nothing these people say. But I'm just saying. Yep. Kim says Epstein didn't have a prostate either. Hold on. But the dude that died in prison had one per the autopsy report. See? That's probably why Epstein's T levels was real low. I'm telling you, man, these people be lying, man. But you know what we're supposed to be doing right now? And I'm going to go here real quick because this is an interesting video, because this is something that we all have been already preparing for and moving in this direction. But I don't know if y'all all see that there's a lot going on. I got a couple videos. Let me go here.
There is a quiet rebellion happening across America. People aren't fighting the system, they're leaving it. No landlord, no utility bill, no one setting the price of your existence. Mobile communities forming across this country, off-grid, self-sufficient, parallel systems, built by people who decided the old world no longer deserves their loyalty. They call themselves nomads. We call it Nomad Syndicate. The system built walls to keep you in. We built wheels to get out. There is a quiet...
And this has really been happening a lot lately, man. People coming together, starting communities. Like, people are really checking out of this system, because it gotta be something more than just have us struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, and, you know, still not being able to own anything. And this is why we started our land initiative. This is why we started UP Farms. And there's a lot of people gathering around doing the same thing. Matter of fact, I got another one I want to share with y'all. Hold on, there's another one here.
These people are about to start their own off-grid family compounds in Tennessee, and you're going to want to do the same thing. All of these families have traveled from all over the United States to this ranch in Tennessee because they all have something in common. They want to buy land, get off-grid, and start regenerative microfarms that feed and protect them for generations. They want to escape the system, but there is a problem. They don't own off-grid land, and they don't know a single thing about farming or homesteading, which is exactly why they've all gathered here on this 922-acre ranch an hour and a half south of Nashville, Tennessee, because there's something special about this place. This gorgeous Tennessee property with its rolling hills, creeks, ponds, and luscious pastures is part of a greater vision, a multi-generational, multi-family, off-grid community where homesteading, homeschooling, and faith are foundational. This property is part of the Axe ecosystem. Axe helps families, entrepreneurs, and veterans escape the system by getting them onto their very own off-grid parcels of land equipped with fully regenerative microfarms we call ranchises. A ranchise is a 100% done-for-you microfarm that comes with everything these families will need to have a self-sustaining and profitable farm. It comes with chickens, cows, pigs, goats, and sheep. With the ranchise, they also get a hand-selected team of ranch hands. We're going to farm the land for them so they don't have to know a single thing about farming. Each of these parcels will also be fully equipped with homes, rental cabins, off-grid energy, and water systems. So in as little as 1 year, all these families are going from the crazy city life to freedom on their very own off-grid family compounds. If you know the importance of getting you and your family off-grid and want a fully done-for-you solution that comes with everything you could possibly need to flourish on your land, comment the word homestead below to check out our existing properties and learn more. These people are about to start their own off-grid family.
Yeah, this is the name of the game now, man. And I can honestly say the way America's looking right now, especially what's going on, I don't know if y'all seen, but the oil, Iran is refusing to sell the oil. They're refusing to sell it. Even if the war dies down and the Strait of Hormuz is back open, they saying, look, we don't got no oil no more. You remember y'all was trying to blow up our reserves. We ain't got no oil. So that things are going to get rather taxing. Tracy Henry, thank you for the support. I appreciate you. And I say that to say this, like, it's not going to get any better. Prices are not going to go down. The matrix is not going to get easier to navigate. Tracy, thank you again. I appreciate you. And so, you know, this is what we need. And this is why we started UP Farms. And so this is just something I want y'all to consider when this summer comes around and we have our gatherings and when we have our business opportunities and endeavors placed before you, because we're all working, striving to have something like this possible. Which brings me to also, you know, if you want to be a part of the network, the team, of course, if you want to build, you know, become business partners so we can build together and actually, you know, build the funds to do these things together, then go to nubreedglobaltruth.com and consider starting a business in travel, a turnkey business that can help others start businesses in travel. Because as you've seen what was going on at the airports, brothers and sisters, it is better to have an inside look at everything when it comes to traveling. It's also something that's going to be very necessary in the future. Remember, the word evacuate is a travel term. So just to be within the travel industry, you'll be previewed to a lot more information. right? And you'll be able to get your discounts the way you need to get them and things of that nature. You know, I'm looking for open-minded people who enjoy traveling, but also people who have a strong team, a strong circle, strong family around them who are supportive of them. If you are one of those people who, you know, are a people person, a socialite, then this would be for you as well. So just go to nubreedglobaltruth.com and you can learn everything you need to learn about the travel business, and you can enroll there. Also, brothers and sisters, I want to just thank y'all for y'all's continued support. You know, if you all can also check out HebrewCare.com, get your natural products. You know, those natural products go a long way. You know, skin products, hair products, toothpaste, soaps, all of it. Get it right there from HebrewCare.com. And I want to thank each and every one of y'all. We're going to be really brainstorming some solutions. We're going to have some real solution-based material that's coming out in the near future. Hebrew Care, thank you for the support. Says, keep up the blessed work, brother. Nubreed, we have to get that farm right. Absolutely. We got to get the farm right, y'all. And it's something that's mandatory. It's something that's mandatory. You know, we're going to be doing some more events. And like, we got over 1,000 people right here, right now. What we just seen right there, we can do it. We don't need to start no church. We don't need to do any of that. We can just come together if people are just serious about it, and we can have our own food system. We can have our livestock. We can have our water supply. We can have our solar panels, our electricity. But it's going to take people saying, you know what? This brother Nubreed been on it. He been warning us, and the brother's active and he's involved with community development. You have to support your interests, because when Babylon start hitting the fan, the Carolina corridor is going to be one of our ways out. We're going to go the same way we came in through the Carolinas. That's the same way we're going to be headed out. So it's a process. It's a process, but we all got to get involved. We all got to get involved. But I want to say thank you, each and every one of y'all, for viewing. Of course, I got more material coming. Y'all make sure y'all turn the post notification bell on so you can get these videos as they being uploaded. Y'all stay safe out there. With that being said, shalom, peace.